Good afternoon, it's Janae Taylor, the Relief Trainer, and I am here today with the next installment of What's on Your Plate. So it's a hard subject, but a subject that does need to be discussed. As church admins, there are times where we become very close with the members of our churches, and when that day comes when one of them passes away, it's a lot of emotions that are occurring, yet we still have to do our job as church admins to make sure that everything is taken care of on behalf of that member. So today I just wanted to spend a few minutes with you just to go over what should be done as church admins when a member passes. So if you're like myself, you're probably one of the first people that gets notified. The initial onset of the news will jar you, of course. And what's the best way to get through that? And I know it's hard to say, but you want to deal with those emotions, but you still have to honor that member and work with their family. So it's really good to make sure that you have policies or systems in place that you can fall onto when your mind is not really all there. Like for our ministry, we have a funeral policy, and it goes into detail as far as what we expect from the member's family, and then what we expect for the funeral home, whichever one that the family is choosing to work with. We have the guidelines for that funeral home set aside as well, so that they know if the service is going to be held at our church, that the pastor has certain ways that he operates when it comes to funerals. So all of that is explained in the funeral policy. So being that is on hand, if one of our members should pass away and I'm very close with them, or it's just a very emotional time for myself, I have that to stand on to help me through that time, so that I make sure that stuff is happening in the order that it should be, that it's still handled in excellence, that the member, the service is being taken care of per the pastor on how it should be handled. And then I'm also working back with the family on making sure that they understand what's supposed to happen. I don't have to rely on my mind to remember what has to happen next. I can always fall back on that policy. It is so important to have those types of policies and things in place for your ministry, so that when times like this come up, or anything else, but that distracts your brain from what your brain knows it should be focused on, it can't be focused on that at that time because of the situation at hand. So let me know in the comments if you have a policy or a system in place for you to rely on during those times when your member passes away. It is indeed a tough time, and you have to be there for so many, to make sure from the moment that you have been made aware of what's happened into the day of the service, and sometimes afterwards. There's a lot that you as an admin have to deal with, and to make sure things are in order. So it is really hard, because sometimes you feel like, okay, when do I get to mourn for this person? And it's kind of like we have to place it on back order. Well, not back order, on a back burner, sorry. Place it on a back burner until all the things that need to happen are taken care of. So my advice to you, if you don't already have this type of thing, sit down with your pastor. Sit down with your pastor and let them tell you what it is that they expect when things like this happen. When a member passes, what should the church be doing? What does the church or the pastor want the funeral home to do? What does the church or pastor need from the family in order to make sure everything is orchestrated as it should for the homegoing service? If you do not know where to even start, please leave a comment for me, and I'll reach out to you so we can strategize a way for you to do that. Here at Administry of Excellence, this is what I do. I help ministries work in excellence. So this is like one thing that neither you as the admin want to dwell on, and you definitely don't want your pastor to have to worry about the little ins and outs of this, because 9 times out of 10 they have to go into their closets to prepare for a eulogy to do for this member, and sometimes that's hard for them, sometimes it's not. But as church admins, we're supposed to be there to be their support. So make sure that you have a system or a policy in place to handle when a member passes. Again, I'm not going to be here for long. I just come in here to just share some knowledge with you, with the church admins, on things that they should have in place, some good tips to help them be excellent in their roles for their ministries. So again, if you do not have a policy or a system in place for you as a church admin to fall back on, when you get the notification that a member has passed, please let me know so we can work together and get that taken care of. Once all that's taken care of, then we're allowed to, to mourn for that loved one, because they are family. Our members are our families, and it does hurt us as well. But we also have to be that support for our pastor to make sure that things are carried out as they should. Again, this is Janae Taylor, the relief trainer, and this was what's on your plate. What do you do when a member passes as a church admin? If you have any questions or any topics that you'd like me to talk about, please let me know in the comments or send me a DM. And I look forward to hearing from you. If you have anything else at your churches that you need training on, I do ministry training for churches. Please contact me. Again, in DM, I can send you a calendar so that you can jump on my calendar and we can strategize a way for me to come out and help your ministry. I hope you have a blessed week. It is February, a new month, and I'm praying for much favor for you in your role as church admin. Have a great day.